Hi everyone, I'm Colleen and I'm back for another live stream brought to you by Princess Dental Staffing. So happy you could join me today. So if you are one of my returning viewers, welcome back. So happy to see you again. And if you are brand new to these live streams, welcome. So happy you could be here with me today. So if you are brand new, let me talk a little bit about these streams and kind of the content we cover and all those sorts of things. So we hold these live streams every Wednesday at noon Mountain Standard Time. So that's 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, and 11 a.m. Pacific. And basically we cover topics that hopefully help you start and maintain your career in the dental industry. Again, these streams are brought to you by Princess Dental Staffing. So be sure to check out Princess Dental Staffing's website, princessdentalstaffing.com, where you can find more information about the services they provide, their blog, and it's really, really easy to create a profile and start searching for jobs if you're interested in doing that. So like I said, the content that we normally cover is related to the dental industry. So if you do like the content that we are covering and the topics that we're covering, be sure to like our streams and our videos. And if you have any questions or thoughts or insights, be sure to leave them in the comments and we will try to answer them as quickly as possible. And if you do like our content and you want to continue to watch these live streams, be sure to subscribe to our channel or follow our page. Okay, so happy everyone could be here with me today. So let's jump into today's topic. So today's topic is about the types of skills that you can include on a dental assistant resume. Now, I've talked about a skills section in some of the previous videos that I've done. So when it comes to a skills section, it's not necessarily mandatory, but I definitely highly recommend including a skills section on your resume, especially if you're in the type of position that has a technical aspect to it, which a dental assistant position absolutely does. Okay, as a matter of fact, let's start talking about what a dental assistant does. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about, kind of the general duties of a dental assistant. And so we can kind of put some of these skills into perspective and kind of understand why they're important. Okay, so what are some of the things that dental assistants generally do? Okay, so basically, dental assistants perform a lot of tasks that help out patients, and such as preparing them for appointments and treatments, assisting the dentist with treatments and operations. Sometimes they can take x-rays, sterilizing instruments and equipment, and educating patients on proper oral hygiene. Okay, so they very much assist the dentist. They're definitely dentist focused. They work with patients quite a bit, but they're very dentist focused. Okay, so dental assistants also perform a lot of administrative tasks as well. So for example, they might help schedule appointments or keep patient records about oral health care and medical history records. They can also be expected to handle like billing and payments, those sorts of things, filing paperwork, of course, and answering the phones to address any questions or concerns or things of that nature. So they actually help out quite a bit on the administrative side as well, and it just helps the office run more smoothly. Okay, so really important job that dental assistants have. Okay. So let's start talking about some of the skills that they need. Okay, so first let's talk about hard skills. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between hard skills and soft skills. Okay, so and I've done previous videos on this, but just kind of a quick refresher, kind of a reminder, and just kind of a little tutorial for our new viewers. But basically, the difference between hard skills and soft skills. So hard skills are going to be your technical skills. Sometimes they're called technical skills as well. But your hard skills are going to be those skills that are teachable and trainable and easily tested. Okay, they're quantifiable. Okay, and then your soft skills are going to be a little bit more personality based. Okay, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about when I get into the type of skills that you want to include. So when it comes to hard skills, a great one to include are your certifications. So depending on the state that you're living in or the area that you're living in, you may need to have certifications in order to be a dental assistant. So not only is it important to list your certifications for that reason, because they're required in order to do your job. But it also shows that you're knowledgeable in a specific area, and that, other people who, other authorities on the subject have deemed you educated in this area. Okay. And then certifications, of course, show that you were taught, that you were trained, and that your skills are testable, right? So that kind of fits the definition of a hard skill, right? So that's definitely a hard skill. So number of patients. So if you're going through, your work history, and you're talking about how many patients you see on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, what have you, number of patients is definitely a good thing to include in your hard skills. Okay. It's what we call a metric. Okay. So let's say you see, X number of patients per day, that X, however many it is, that's what we call a metric. It's a quantifier. Okay. So anytime you can use quantifiers or metrics, amounts, dollar amounts, percentages, those sorts of things, really helps paint a picture regarding the breadth and the depth of your expertise and your experience, and what you can accomplish for your dental office. Okay. Ordering and purchasing. So if you have experience in ordering and purchasing, great thing to add on a resume, especially if you have a specific computer system specific experience, right? Like, do you use Excel to do your ordering, or is there another specific system that you use? Maybe you use a Google spreadsheet, what have you. Okay. Computer proficiency. Excellent thing to add on just about any resume, actually. You definitely want to have computer proficiency, especially since you're going to be using you use your computer a lot to, send emails. You might have electronic dental records. Might need to complete a Microsoft document or a Google Doc or something like that. So those sorts of things. So computer proficiency, definitely a hard skill, because it is teachable, trainable, and it is very easily testable. There are tons and tons of tests out there that can test your prowess on specific systems. Okay, so great thing to add on your resume. So when it comes to computer proficiency, different systems, Microsoft Office, Google Suite, and any experience that you have with specific, inventory, ordering, purchasing kind of systems, and then also, of course, your electronic dental records, medical records, and those sorts of things. Okay. Okay, so those are some really good hard skills to add onto your resume. So let's talk about soft skills. Again, soft skills are going to be those ones that are a little bit more personality based, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So organization. Okay, so if you're a very organized person, that's very personality based, and it's not as easy to test, right? But it's definitely a good thing for dental assistants to have, right? Because if you're doing some of these administrative tasks, you definitely want to be organized when it comes to like filing and time management and those sorts of things. Okay. Interpersonal communication. Okay. So when it comes to communication itself, written and verbal communication, it kind of straddles both hard and soft skills, because you can test, for example, somebody's skill in like English or Spanish or another language or something like that. But when it comes to interpersonal communication, it's more so based on, how well you connect with people. And that is very hard to test. So it definitely falls into the category of a soft skill. And it's a great skill to have for dental assistants, since you are working with a lot of patients who might be a little bit nervous, or, might be a little bit anxious about going to the dentist. So being able to connect with your patients in order to, get them through their dental appointment, and also so they can receive the information you're giving them about oral health and hygiene, right? So interpersonal skill is very important. Being detail oriented. So again, something that is very, very hard to test, but definitely a great thing for a dental assistant to great skill for a dental assistant to have, right? So detail orientation basically means that you pay attention to details, and can decide whether or not that detail is important or not. Okay, so detail oriented is very important, especially when you're following strict protocols, rules, procedures, and those sorts of things. Okay, things such as like HIPAA and those sorts of things. It's really important to be detail oriented. Okay. and dexterity. So dexterity is kind of a soft skill just because, again, it's hard to test, like a general dexterity kind of skill. Okay, so it's definitely a soft skill, and it's very beneficial for dental assistants to be dexterous, right? Because you're constantly working with your hands, constantly having to work with these, like cleaning and sanitizing, small instruments and those sorts of things. So having good dexterity is really, really important for a dental assistant, since you are working with those small tools and you are working with your hands quite a bit, and then typing on the computer and whatnot, right? So really important to have that manual dexterity. So you can kind of see, so those are the hard and the soft skills that you can include on your dental assistant resume, and they're really great skills to list on there. So like I said, now going through those skills, you can kind of see why those skills are important to list on your resume for a dental assistant position, given what dental assistants do. And, you can kind of see the difference between hard and soft skills, right? So you can see that hard skills are more technical in nature. They're more easily tested, whereas your soft skills, like I said, organization, detail orientation, and those sorts of things, they're a little bit more personality based, okay, and a little bit harder to test, okay? So those are kind of the differences. So how many skills do you include on a resume? Oh, excuse me. How many skills do you include on a resume? So that is going to depend on several different factors. So it's going to depend on, firstly, how much room you have on your resume. I mean, are you trying to fill up space so that you have 2 pages, or you just have a little bit of space because you only have 1 page? It really kind of depends on how much space you have. So I normally recommend right around 10. Okay, right around 10 skills means that the skills section is not too lengthy, and it's not cumbersome, too cumbersome and too full. So that's normally what I recommend. But again, that's going to be based on, how much room you have and what formatting you can do. So I normally recommend, like, if you're on your resume, using columns, right? So if you're going to do, say, 12 is fine. You can do 3 columns of 4 or 4 columns of 3 or something like that. And that way it makes your resume visually appealing. And again, the skill section is not too overly cumbersome, and it's not too wordy, and it doesn't take away from, like, your work experience and your education and those sorts of things. Okay. So those are some skills. Like I said, that's the difference between hard and soft skills, and what kind of skills you can include on your resume for a dental assistant position, and a little bit about what a dental assistant does and why those skills are important to have if you're trying to get your first or get another position as a dental assistant. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in with me today. And if you couldn't tune in when this was live, I'm so glad you got to watch this video later. Again, if you have any questions or thoughts or insights, be sure to drop us a comment, and we'll respond to you as soon as we are able to do so. Be sure to tune in next week for another topic that we will be covering. Thanks so much for being here, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.